have become something of a staple in gaming news lately, from the malfunctioning multiplayer in Halo the Master Chief Collection to Assassin's Creed Unity's faceless French protagonist. Games that launch with a bevy of bugs and glitches are nothing new, but there's certainly some infamous standout examples. Although SimCity gave us a brand new hatred for always online, and basically every Bethesda RPG delivered on obscure bugs, here are 5 of my picks for hugely broken games. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric may have been dubbed Sonic Boo by our review, but it still doesn't hold a candle to the terribleness of Sonic the Hedgehog from 2006. Considered to be one of the worst games ever, 2006's Sonic on PS3 and 360 had crappy controls, a disastrous camera, and committed what is one of the worst sins in game design. It was unfinished, with promised features that never made an appearance. That's even after Sonic Team took extra time to work on it. The game was announced in 2005 by Yuji Naka, lead programmer on the very first Sonic game on the Sega Master System, and who was heading up Sonic Team at the time. It was probably a bad sign when he resigned just after the game was announced. Sonic 06 also features the super yucky kiss between Sonic and the human Princess Elise that we're all still trying to bleach from our memories. This next one is probably the only part of the Superman franchise that makes you think twice about whether or not you actually want to be a superhero. It's Superman 64. It sucks. Potentially the only game ever to make simulated flying not fun, Superman 64 was a Nintendo 64 game that focused on flying through featureless grey skies peppered with rings and clipping into the environment. The graphics were also widely panned, even for 1999 standards, and the game really only succeeded in getting a generation of kids to almost unanimously prefer Batman over Superman. No contest. Hopping back into the 21st century, I'd be remiss not to mention the biggest AAA broken game of the last several years. SimCity was bad, Battlefield 4 was worse. EA faced multiple lawsuits because so many people bought and attempted to play the fairly broken shooter. Instead of battling in fields, what they faced was significant technical issues, including stability problems, glitches which trap the player in certain screens, let them trade kills to artificially pad stats alongside many other issues, as well as various crashes across platforms. The game was being patched and updated constantly all the way up until last month, when developer DICE finally acknowledged that they really screwed up and betrayed the trust of their fans. You've probably heard of this one since it spawned its very own meme and scored a 0 out of 10 from one publication. Yep, a 0! If you haven't guessed it already, it's Big Rigs Over-the-Road Racing. The game that Giant Bomb's Alex Navarro called As Bad As Your Mind Will Allow You to Comprehend birthed the famous Your Winner meme. Unfortunately, the game's issues didn't start and end with poor grammar. This #1 all-time worst game on game rankings is horrendously broken, completely unfinished in every conceivable way, and well, it made this happen. And then there's Air Control. This one actually came out this year and almost broke senior reviewer Kevin Van Ord, who had the misfortune of playing it. Certainly not as well known as Big Rigs, but equally as frustrating, Air Control doesn't even have a mildly functioning user interface. It's full of stolen graphics, clunky character models, and a mouse look that is bound to the cursor, so whenever you want to click on something, the whole screen shifts. The screen is inexplicably peppered with buttons that say lock cursor, and the actual tasks of the game, which include picking up pillows and delivering coffee on an airplane, are exactly as mundane and uninspiring tired as they sound. You might think it's worth it to take out stilted exploding terrorists, or opt for a mode where the plane is full of wildlife, but trust me, you'll have way more fun crashing your polygonal plane into the in-game sea that's actually solid and giving up on this one. These 5 games are totally terrible, but let me know which one you think is the most broken or if I missed out on one of your picks. I will see you next week.